All right, so we got two great movies, Barbenheimer, Barbie and Oppenheimer. Welcome back to the Voiceover Podcast. I'm Cameron the Glowmine.
And I'm 24K Logan.
Today is one of the biggest days for cinema history, I gotta say. Because
both movies premiering.
Two phenomenal movies in one day, the memes, everything.
Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer?
No, Barbenheimer.
Oh, I thought it was like Barbie.
Barbenheimer.
Oh yeah, Barbenheimer. So we're gonna start off with Barbie and then Oppenheimer the second half of the video. I'll leave a bracket, so if you do want to go to that, I'll leave that there.
Okay, so just getting straight into Barbie, right? So I'm going to try to be as objective as possible because I understand that Barbie obviously is mainly targeted towards little girls. So it only makes sense that in the world of Barbie, the females are the how do I put it? Kind of
the
like
ones
the
in
hierarchy.
charge.
Yeah, they're the hierarchy. So I'm not really going to make a big deal out of that. I'm going to start off with the good. Obviously, needless to say, Margot Robbie is amazing in this film. That's a no-brainer. Ryan Gosling is the amazing comedic relief.
Bro, it wasn't even comedic relief. It was like that man was like, it was like rent was due how funny he was.
His level of sarcasm is like top notch.
Like 10 out of 10. Like, and he's just like funny. And this is like a big thing I loved about both movies, the acting. Like people when they acted, it wasn't cringe at all. It was like straight to the point. They got it across, you know. And when they were dancing in Barbie, they were like, the choreography was insane, like how they did it. And I love the set of Barbie, like it was obvious like a doll world.
Barbie Land,
yeah. And apparently, they used so much pink. There was like ended up being like a shortage for like pink paint apparently.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and like, cause I'm like, yeah, they used a lot of pink for this. I don't know what the budget was for both movies. I'll put it here. But Barbie, that was an amazing film right there.
I would say the script wasn't a strong suit, and I wouldn't expect the script to be the strongest thing about this movie because it is a Barbie film.
Yeah.
But I think Greta Gerwig did a good job of getting her point across, and also the acting. I think the acting is what made up for some of the flaws that was in this film. The acting, I don't want to say that it carried it, but it made the film. The performances was top notch, especially the choreography and all the dance and the singing moments.
Yeah.
And it really made you feel like you were in a Barbie world.
Dream house,
yeah. Now,
the soundtrack.
Yes.
The soundtrack was phenomenal. There's like a whole album that he made. Dua Lipa's song was probably the best one. Kid Leroy had a song. Khalid had a song.
Nicki Minaj had a song.
Yeah, the Princess Diana song. So, I love the soundtrack. And that's one thing I always forget about each movie review. I always forget to mention the soundtrack. Like, the Spider-Verse soundtrack was amazing. So, yeah, that's one thing I did want to get out of the way.
So, now, and this is the last thing I think was something that I appreciated. I felt that the overall theme that Greta Gerwig tried to get across is don't think of yourself as being too much high or above other people, but don't also think that you're below or beneath them. Yeah, I think it was a good balance of that. Now I'm going to talk about my issue.
All right, go for it.
So again, Barbie is targeted towards little girls. So again, I understand how in Barbie Land the females run everything. While I don't have a problem with that, and I think some people could agree with me, when you see a Barbie film, I expect it to be a lighthearted kiddie type of film for like 5-8-year-old girls.
Yeah,
that's not what I got out of this. And again, I understand what Greta Gerwig was trying to do. It was more of an adult focused type of film. It was PG-13, but nevertheless it was more of an adult focused type of film.
Yeah, there was adult references,
and younger children won't understand those references anyway.
Yeah.
But my biggest issue outside of that, I felt that they pushed the feminism movement, and I'm not gonna make this solely a political thing, but I just felt that with a movie like this, instead of having a boy versus girl or men versus women type of theme for what they had towards the middle of the film and making it seem like men are just trash and that they'll ruin the world, I felt that wasn't the right direction to go. And I think that'd be my only problem. It's like they were trying to make men feel bad. And maybe I took it the wrong way, but I think that they were, for the middle of the film, they were trying to make it seem like they wanted men to feel bad for being men,
but I looked at it. We look at this from two different perspectives. Like, I'm looking at the film because basically they're in the Barbie world where women are basically in charge. They're their own roles, and I feel like it's meant for like young girls to look up to these women and try to be better or aspire, you know.
And they did a good job of doing that.
But they came to the real world and they seen how things are. I think it was a snap to reality in a way, right? But also they learned a life lesson, like one can be better than the other, you know what I mean? So don't ever think just because someone's different than you that they're better than you. And just basically be the best version of yourself, be yourself, do something positive in this world. That's the kind of message I get, you know.
I agree. But overall, I think that Barbie was a decent film. I'm finally going to give you my rating.
So, I already said it. 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10. Love the movie. I liked it better than Oppenheimer. I'm a team Barbie, so.
I'm going to give Barbie, and this is, I didn't expect this. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
All right. So, I can respect it, but, so that's 2 10s I've given this year. So
and you said your team Barbie.
Okay. So you team Oppenheimer, but I'm not saying that this is better, but
it's not.
I'm not saying what it's better than, but I got this as movie of the year as of right now.
That means that you have
this across the Spider-Verse, and Creed 3 and Oppenheimer. Yes,
you're tripping.
I love the movie. I love this movie, dude. It was such a cool like aesthetic film. Like it was like a slice of life type thing. Like I loved it, dude. Hey, if you have not seen Barbie yet, please go watch Barbie now.
It's a good film.
Amazing film.
It's not movie of the year.
Amazing film. Movie of the year.
It's not movie of the year.
Soundtrack of the year for sure.
Definitely not. That goes to Spider-Verse.
I got Barbie.
For film anyway.
Man.
Creed 3 had a better soundtrack than this. What are you talking about? Dreamville?
Hey, look, I didn't mention this. I am a huge pop fan. I kind of like pop more than hip hop. And Dua Lipa was in the movie. And Dua Lipa, my favorite female artist. So, you know.
J. Cole was in Creed 3.
His
music.
Yes, his music. Well, he wasn't in it. And Dua Lipa and John Cena, they have very small cameos. But I loved him. I loved him in the movie.
We're not going to get off topic, but that's how we feel about Barbie. And now we are moving on to the better film, Oppenheimer.
All right.
Directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Cillian Murphy, Matt Damon, and Robert Downey Jr.
All right. So, look, I know Cillian Murphy was the main character, but because Robert Downey Jr. the other day, he admitted that this was the best film that he was ever acted in.
I agree.
And my whole thing is, I'm like, dang, because as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, you mean tell me you got this movie over Iron Man 1 through 3, Civil War, Ultron, First Avengers, Spider-Man Homecoming, Infinity War, and Endgame. I'm like, you mean tell me you got this over all of them? But his performance, like,
he played the villain very well.
Bro, Robert Downey Jr. can act. Like,
I almost forgot that he was Tony Stark.
Yeah, no.
Like, that's how, and that's not throwing shade on his performance.
Yeah,
Tony Stark.
It's like a 10 out of 10 performance was another 10 out of 10 performance.
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr., that man's a genius. Like,
he really is.
If he's on your movie, you got a great movie.
Complete 360.
I've seen his other roles. Like, he's a phenomenal actor. Like, probably one of the best that we have. Top 10 ever.
One thing that I want to touch on, Rami Malek. That's the same guy that had played Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, he was in it.
He is low-key the MVP of this film, at least for the last hour he was. We're not going to get into too much of spoilers, but
yeah,
he had did something in this film that really, I'm like, he stood out.
Yeah.
He really did stood out.
Josh Peck had a cameo. I loved it. I was like, oh, Josh Peck in this?
Josh Peck was in
From
this.
Jake and Josh, yeah, he was in it. And but let's get to Cillian Murphy. Phenomenal actor. His performance, everything. So we're watching the film, right? And they had quantum math. We looked at it. I was like, man, they had to go through that in the 40s.
Made my brain hurt.
I couldn't do
brain
math
still
like that,
hurts.
man. And I ain't even the biggest math person, so it was kind of like, I saw that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, man. And it really made you feel like you were in a classroom session when he was explaining the quantum physics. And when he was in the boardrooms and the meetings and speaking to the general and whatnot, it made you feel like you were there with him going through this journey of creating the atomic bomb.
Yeah. But they did a good job depicting this film, right?
Yes.
So, I'm watching it. Everybody's coming because we watch this film because we want to see what they went through to make the bomb, the hydrogen bomb that destroyed the bombs that kind of ended World War II, right?
Yes.
And I love how like historically accurate they were. But they had this one scene. You have to watch it to see what I mean. When they realized what they've done or what he's created,
he realized that it really shook him up bad.
Yeah, cause like I'm watching this, I'm thinking, cause I haven't finished it yet, but there's a series on HBO called Chernobyl, amazing series by the way. But I seen the reality of what goes on if a bomb like that was a hit somewhere, and I loved how Christopher Nolan had executed it. And there was also this thing where they was like, "You want to feel it," and I love how like we're sitting in the theater and the seats is shaking. It's crazy how it's all happening. The speed of light is faster than the speed of sound. So I love how they were looking from a far distance, see an explosion, and you finally hear it. I'm like, oh, this is like accurate. They like did their homework when they did this film. So
and there was also apparently there was no CGI used in this film, so that was another plus one right there. There was no CGI. I really appreciated that as well. Christopher Nolan delivered another masterpiece, man. The only thing, not really a bad thing, but I think some people might have a problem with it. It is 3 hours long.
Yes. Oh.
And when you watch it, you kind of understand why they made it 3 hours long, but it's very dialogue heavy. Yes. So you have to really pay attention to what they're saying and what's going on. I think that's the only con that people would find with this movie, but the performances were great. Christopher Nolan always has amazing cinematography. Of course, like we said, apparently there was no CGI used for the explosions and whatnot. You know, and Cillian Murphy, man, I believe this was his first lead role. Amazing.
Yeah. So I was thinking when I was in the theater, you know what a 3 hour rule is?
What is it?
I just made it up, but basically.
Oh my god.
So think of this. Whenever you hear about people's top 10 movies, they name a bunch of movies, but they always mention movies that are 3 hours long.
Yep.
Top 10 movies, think about it, like Titanic, Avatar, Infinity War, Endgame, Godfather, Scarface. A lot of movies that have been in people's top 10 all the time are always 3 hours long.
Or very close to 3 hours.
So when this was 3 hours, it's worthy of being contended in the, like, would I put it in my personal top 10? After rewatch this movie a few times, just like fully, like, you know, in historical accuracy, the executions, the CGI, no CGI, like, I love how they did all that. So when you find out what goes into this film, it makes you want to put it high on your list. So it was a phenomenal film, and I loved how they did everything. So for a 3 hour movie, it was worth it for 3 hours.
I agree. I don't think that I'm ready to say it's a top 10 film of all time.
All time, maybe
it's
not.
Definitely amongst Christopher Nolan's 5 best films. Yes. I would argue. I do have to watch the films more. I have to watch this film more though, because I feel like there's some things that I still need to retain from it. But just off of what I remember, and again the performances and whatnot, and the direction that they went of the film, and the historical accuracy in it, it was top notch for me.
And Christopher Nolan, because he directed Dark Knight, right?
Yes.
So
the entire trilogy.
So when it comes down to Christopher Nolan movies, this man is a genius. Like, probably one of the best directors of all time.
Ain't no problem, he is.
But overall, I love Barbie more than Oppenheimer.
I'm not really gonna get mad at you for that. I just don't see the argument that you can really make. Again, and you're comparing two different type of films. You know,
True.
Oppenheimer really focuses on the art of filmmaking, and it tells a very historical, accurate story.
Yeah.
Barbie, while a lot of people grew up with Barbie, a lot of little girls grew up with Barbie, and and it's near and dear to their childhood, and it is a cultural icon, so to speak. That's not really a movie you can compare to Oppenheimer, but they're gonna naturally be compared because they drop on the same weekend.
Yeah.
And of course, Barbenheimer.
Yeah. But shout out to everybody who promoted that, like from the promos, from the studio to the promos from TikTok, Instagram, and everybody else.
Absolutely.
Like social media is something else when it comes down to promoting something.
It really is.
And July 21st, 2023 will be a day to be remembered. Cause like 15 years from now, 10 years from now, we're gonna look back on like remember the Barbenheimer memes. So 2 phenomenal films, 2 10 out of 10 movies. In my opinion, he gave Barbie
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, so it is what it is at the end of the day. So
y'all let us know if y'all team Barbie or team Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I'm definitely team Oppenheimer, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. So yeah. All of our links are in the description below. Please subscribe. We got more content coming in the near future. So stay tuned for all of that. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Peace
like,
and love.
subscribe. Peace out. Catch you on the next one, man.